Marhaban, welcome back. Well, today we're going to continue learning some more letters. We have just one consonant to learn today, but it's a very common and very useful one. And we're also going to learn one slight variation on the vowels. So let's get right to it. Today's letter is called Miim. Now, this does not refer to something funny you do on the internet. This is actually a consonant sound, and if I tell you Miim, you would probably guess it's the sound of M, just like in English. Mother, Mary, may I. Okay? And I'll just give you some good news. Miim only has one version. There's not a hard version and a soft version and an emphatic version. Okay? There's just Miim. Now, Miim is fairly easy to write, but you have to be careful not to confuse it with some things that it sort of looks like. So let's start right off the bat with how we draw Miim. Okay, so starting at the beginning of a word, Miim is going to look kind of like a little bump, like so. Now, Miim has no dots on it. There's no variation of this that has any dots, so that's good news. Okay? It looks kind of like that, a sort of a bump. Now, in the middle of a word, it's going to look very similar, but it's important that the direction that I make this in. So you can just imagine if I took this and put a line down here, it would connect, because Miim is a connector. Okay? It's not a particularly fancy or a hard letter to make, but something that's very important. You notice the direction the line goes. It's going above the bump, right? It kind of looks like this thing is hiding under a rug or something. This is important. We want to make sure to do it in this direction. Why? We don't want to do this. And you can probably guess why, because this is going to look like another letter. And it does. Okay? It's easily confused with something else that's written that way. But when I see it coming in this direction, I know that this thing is Miim. Well, what if Miim comes at the end of a word? Well, very easily, same kind of shape here, but I have nothing to connect it to, so I just go down. Okay? So I can get something like this. Okay, and I put the Miim down like that. Now, very often you'll see this written this way, which you can tell is pretty much the same thing, except it's not connecting here. When Miim is written by itself, it's often written that way, or when it's written at the end of a word, it looks like that as well, but it connects in like that. So Miim is a fairly simple letter to recognize. Remember, this is the wrong one. Don't do that. You do these, and you should be good. Let's see if we can recognize it in some words. Okay, we have a lot of Miims here. Okay, so remember, we're looking for the bump. Has no dots on it. So, can we recognize where we have Miims? In this first word, it's correct. We have two. This is a Miim here. All right, notice we have our bump. Okay, and lines going on top. And this is a final Miim. Okay, and this is kind of, I've written the shape that I showed you with that little gap. I prefer to write it that way. Okay, we know this letter as well. This is a good word to recognize if you're going to travel. The word hammam. Hammam, you may have heard of this. Hammam means a bathroom, so it's a good thing to know how to find. Here again, a word which we have all the letters for. You notice the Miim. Miim's at the end. In this case, it's not connected in both cases because aleph was there. This is a cha, right? Cham, cham. Okay, no problem. Here is a Miim, and kind of made this kind of a fat one. It could be smaller, but notice the Miim is at the beginning, right? And it's not easily confused with anything else because of the way we've made it. All right, this is mabruk. And lastly, where do we have the Miim here? It's, of course, right at this point, shamal. Well, you'll recognize some of those letters. But again, we're looking for this bump, okay? And it should be more of a bump than a loop. Don't make it too thin like a loop. It's more of like a lump, okay? And it has no dots on it. These are our Miims, okay? The pronunciation is easy. Seems like the writing is pretty easy, but unfortunately I'm going to throw a few wrinkles at you right here. Okay. As I said, a meme can get a little bit tricky because you're going to see some variations on the way this is combined with other letters. Okay, so I want to point that out. One of the most important is following something that we learned in a recent lesson is al. Remember, you're going to see al at the beginning of a lot of words because al means the. It makes something definite, and we attach it directly onto the word. So now let's say I had a word, for example, like the city. Right? The word city is Medina. Now if I were to write out all the letters, I would just attach some of these letters we have not learned yet, but you can see the meme. No problem. Al, Miim, al, Medina. No problem. The problem is that it's usually not going to be written like this. Most people are not going to bother to write this, and even in typeface, usually it's not going to be written that way. Now, if you're learning to type on the computer, which I recommend, there's a font called Simplified Arabic, which is what you should use as a beginner, which will break all the letters out like this so you can identify all of them. But if you use any other font in the way it's normally written, it's not going to be written this way. So what typically happens is the meme is going to combine here with the lam, and it can look a number of different ways. So one way is in handwriting. Someone will write this like this. Okay. Now you can see what they've done just to save themselves some time rather than do this and do that. They've done a loop. But even at that, you can still recognize the meme there. So we still know that this is Aleph, Lam, Mim, Al, Medina. Okay, that is not so much of a problem. But what happens is that this shape that you see here can get condensed and condensed to the point where it will often end up looking something like that. Now, you may say that doesn't look like a meme at all. That's just a little corner. Okay? It's this, but it's condensed to a very large degree. And so you just happen to know that there is a meme there. Because if you saw the entire word and you didn't recognize that there's a meme in that little corner, you would go look this up under the wrong letter and you wouldn't be able to find it. So the easiest advice I can give you on this, because this is going to tend to trip you up at the beginning, is that notice when there is no meme, or when I'm not condensing it, the L has a curve to it. Notice if my lam has a curve, I know there's nothing in there. If my lam is going in the other direction, it's coming this way instead of going that way, then that's not normal, and that's not convenient. So that means that there is a meme hidden there. Hard to believe, but there is one there. So just get used to that. It's a little bit tricky, but you will learn to recognize it after a while. So at any rate, we have a lot of exercises for you to practice recognizing the meme, and I hope you do those. We'll come back and see you when you finish those for one more bonus item. Thank you. Shukran.